your head, pick up your body, get on the bus, it's time to party. It's Gregory. It is a Saturday night, Gregory. Take your socks off and take your pants on, get in the car and drive on.
Welcome to Friday Night Greg, Friday Night Energy on a Wednesday morning, but today is, I don't know what day it is, Thursday?
It's almost Friday.
Thursday night Energy. Did my mic just go out, Mike? We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
We're back.
Oh, thank God.
That was called a new comics test, because in my eyes, you guys are new comics, because I've been doing comedy 54 years. And you guys have been doing it, what, 53? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my age. I keep forgetting you're my age, right?
I think.
How old are you?
Wait, you guys might have
41.
That's right.
been in around the same time, right? Like 20 years?
I forgot that, I always think Pat is 22 years old.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks great. Great
You,
skin.
the youthful face of a boy.
So-
I use shea butter and I don't drink and I pray every day.
Do you pray? Which God?
No.
Oh.
No,
Which God?
every God. I pray that they stop fighting each other.
Oh, I like that you wake up every day and pray to every God, and it takes 9 hours.
It does. I get nothing else done.
Let me introduce you properly. We got Pat Burtscher. I always do that. Pat Burtscher.
You just fall over.
Pat Burtscher.
Let me introduce you properly.
You sound like you were shutting down.
Pat Burtscher. Ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian, very funny guy, Pat Burtscher. Pat the Butcher.
Hey.
Is it French for butcher?
No.
It could be.
It could be.
Are you French?
No.
Okay.
But he's Canadian. That's something.
French Canadian.
That's a thing. That is. The people
I-
exist.
I was raised there.
Burtscher?
Burcher's.
How do you say it?
I don't know. I'm not.
Your
telling-
name.
I'm not telling you.
Well, we got Pat Burtscher. You know him from his Canadian talk show, The Butcher Boys.
Leave
Wait.
it to the beavers.
Very funny guy. He was on here last time, and we have a new.
Woman?
This is why I don't do the gender thing. This is why I don't do the gender thing. We talked about this last night.
We have a new woman.
We were talking-
Watch out, boys. I'm a new woman.
because I'm so afraid of genders now that I don't know who's what. So I just go. We have a new human who exists, and I didn't ask. Maddie the Wiener. I threw the in there. Maddie Wiener.
Short circuiting. Oh, woman's fine. It's big lady vibes over here.
I know you are.
Who even cares?
I know we had a funny gag last night. Anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. Don't worry. Moving right along.
Oh, wait, shit. My last name is Wiener, though. That wasn't a gender thing.
It is your new name. No,
is.
but
Maddie the Wiener. My middle initial is T.
for what?
Tandy.
Like the computer, like the Tandy Sensation.
Oh, I don't even know.
This is in 1996. It was the greatest computer that was ever built.
Sorry, I wasn't born yet.
The greatest computer ever built.
Yeah, man.
Tandy
It's the
Sensation.
Tandy Sensation.
I
do
love
know
it.
The Apple One, I bought my dad a vintage Apple One off of eBay because that was his first computer.
Really?
I got it as a birthday present for him. There's like a bunch of like old Apple enthusiasts that like refurb these like really old computers, and people will even write software updates for them to fix bugs. 'Cause it's like Apple's not writing software updates for that anymore. But you can get it, and there's like Facebook groups. People are really into it.
How much did you pay?
A few hundred.
Really? That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it wasn't
Hundreds
bad.
of thousands?
Beep that.
No,
part
no,
out.
no, no.
So her dad never finds out. Beep it out.
Yeah.
How much did you pay?
I paid in love.
Yeah.
I paid in love.
My first writing gig, I bought my dad I bought him a guitar. I bought him because he always said he always wanted a Les Paul guitar, and he's like I always want one. So I got my first writing gig. It was $1,000, and I bought it for him, and then he was mad at me. I don't know why. I guess it wasn't the right one. No, I'm kidding. He was mad because he said I shouldn't have spent the money. But I was like,
Right.
no, man, this is my way of telling you I'm doing okay now. And the next year,
Aw.
I wasn't doing okay. Really could have used that $1,000.
I love it.
Drowning. It was just
Yeah.
It was an Italian show of money that I did not have.
Every time someone brought out a guitar, you smashed it. You just
Maddie's becoming like my new. I love you already.
Oh, I
Is
love
that
you
okay to say?
too.
We've been hanging out. We had a lot of good.
Yeah, we're like fast becoming best buds.
Yeah. We had a great talk about gender fluidity. That's why I was trying to do a bit, and then I stumbled over the bit. It didn't work. So that's what I was talking about. That's what I was trying to get people in on. That was
Right.
That was the bit I was talking about from yesterday.
That's so funny.
No.
Just like I was trying to work out this bit yesterday, it didn't work. But, like you were so excited to talk about it, and then as soon as you remembered it, you're like, oh God.
It's not that funny.
Well, no, so it was so funny because we were like having this like long conversation about it, and I was like, "Do you know a lot of people like this in your life? Is this okay to say?" Because it made
I
me
guess
laugh
it is
so hard.
now. I mean, I guess we're doing it now. All right, go ahead. I guess. I'm back. Of
But
course.
there's somebody, and then he goes, it's just this one barista that's a they. I was like, it's wormed its way.
Yeah, and I refuse. I refuse because I don't believe in these people. No, I'm kidding. No, it's just one, she works there, and I every time I talk to her, I fumble because I don't know when to speak. I don't know what to say. And she's really cool about it because, see, I just did it there. She's like, you can call me a she. And I go, all right, well, I'll call you a she because I'm not changing. I'm too old. I'm out. I don't care about gay people. I want them all to die. What am I doing? What am I just saying anything? I'm just saying anything. No, I love everybody. Anyway. Maddie's
You
20,
didn't.
Huh?
You didn't.
Maddie's 25 years old. I don't know how to talk to a 25-year-old.
This is so funny.
Everything has changed.
Every sentence is incomplete.
Plus, you lived in Brooklyn. You know how to handle the liberals.
That's the only reason I lived there for a little bit.
I'm all in on Trump.
Yeah.
No, I don't like him either. I don't like him. Anyway.
Did you grow up like
we
in a
reset?
conservative?
Yeah, I'm a wild liberal, though. But I grew up a very Republican.
Oh, whoa. I grew up pretty hippy dippy granola.
Really?
Yeah, and I kind of stayed that way.
Yeah.
Maybe even went a little further.
Wow.
Why do the hippies get the granola?
Good point.
Yeah, it actually
And it's
seems like
full of sugar. It's not actually that good for you.
it's so sassy.
Yeah.
And it's actually full
the
of
hippies
sugar.
fuck it all up. They're always like, hey, here's a cookie with some weed in it. It's got a lot of sugar in there, too. They love sugar. They all have diabetes.
Wait, who loves diabetes?
Liberals
The
have
hippies.
diabetes.
Hippies love diabetes.
Hippies, look at hippies. They don't shave their armpits. They smell like trash. I only know hippies from like the 80s.
Right.
And they love recycling. That doesn't work. I say Joe Rogan has a point.
What is it? That
Is this a woman to you? Is that chair a woman?
That was his point. That was his...
None of this makes any sense, and I'm fumbling.
Yeah.
Let's reset.
Well, I see why you're
Okay.
confused if you think they're talking about chairs.
I have been very. I'm like, whose chair is this? Can I have a water? Who was I yelling to?
Water.
They moved the fridge. It's gone.
I'll go get you a water.
That's all right. Max
Oh.
isn't doing anything anyway. We gotta fire this guy. He's fired. He's been fucking my wife for 3 years. That's the reason he's still
For
here.
3 years.
I made him go all the way over there. To get
That's
it.
so funny.
All right, we're
My-
gonna do. Go ahead.
Is that from Westworld?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Sorry to
Season 1 or 2?
One.
Yeah.
the only good
Show
one.
fell off at 2.
Yeah, it did.
Were you upset about
Never
your
really
tattoo
fell
after season 2?
No, because I just like season 1 so much that I was like, it's for that.
My buddy has this bit. He'll do it every once in a while. He'll wait until you forget. And every once in a while, he'll be like, hey, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Like, serious?
Yeah.
And then he grabs it. He's a short guy, and he grabs you by the scruff of the shirt, and he goes, you fuck my wife!
That's fine.
Great bit.
That's
'cause
fine.
He doesn't have a wife, but it's a great bit.
I want to reset here.
Mm.
All right, let's get this thing on the table. Let's get back together here. I'm going to ask some
Right.
questions. Let's do some fun chats. All right.
All right.
One, Pat, you're 41.
Yeah.
So you're like my age,
Right. How old are you?
42.
So, yeah.
But I'm older.
Yeah.
So I'm the wisest
Yeah.
and the most.
That's why I always call you for advice.
The fact that you're my age, it makes me upset because I was like really trying to take you under my wing.
I'll
But
go
you're-
under the wing.
But you're like older than me almost.
No, that's not how age works.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Like almost 20 years.
Yeah, me too. I can't. We got to be brothers here now.
Okay.
We'll take her under our wing.
Do you know what we could do? We could double clothesline people and stuff. We could be like a tag team.
That's it. We'll tag team.
Well, like even in the middle of sets, we tag in and out. We're like, I got a fucking tag for that.
Yeah. But her, she was. You know when she was born? 2 days after 9/11. Her parents did not care about 9/11. They didn't. Wait, you
No, I was going to be born and 9/11 happened and my mom held it in out of respect.
good,
No, I was born in 98.
but still before
Yeah,
9/11.
but- yeah.
Maybe you had something to do with it.
So it was enough time for me to start planning.
No. Okay. You're 25.
I'm 25, yeah.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know how to- Max, how old are you?
29.
Oh, maybe you guys get together.
This is Matchmaker Podcast.
He goes, Pat's 41, I can't fuck him. And he's already fucking my wife.
Yeah, and Max, I spent the whole weekend with his girlfriend.
And this is the best. You're like, let's get it back on track. You're like, you two marry.
All right. Worst date. Do you have a worst date story?
Oh, yeah.
You want to share it?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you want to go first and then let him think about it? You have a worst date? You probably only been on like 2 dates.
I went on a date with someone who we went to the same place my last boyfriend had broken up with me.
Wow.
And he had the same name.
On purpose?
No.
Was it the same guy in a mustache? Which Pizza Hut was it? No, I wouldn't go back to that one.
Do I have
What?
I get dumped in a Pizza Hut vibes?
And
I will kill myself.
and picked
Greg.
up in a Pizza
And
Hut.
picked up. That might be worse.
Grand opening, grand closing. Well, there's some truth to that story. I was dating this girl who I was in love with. We broke up, and it was we broke up, and then Valentine's Day swings around, and we didn't even realize it was Valentine's Day. And we were still going through the breakup process. You know, it was like still a few weeks. And she was like, maybe we should just go talk and eat. And I was like, okay, what do you want to do? She was like, we want to just go to the Pizza Hut. We have pizza and eat. And I'm like, okay. So we go, we sit, we're eating at Pizza Hut, and like she's like, I just don't know how I feel. All this, and I'm like dying. And the waiter comes over and he goes, so do you usually take all your girlfriends to Pizza Hut on Valentine's Day? And I was like, I was too devastated to even be like, I'll fucking kill you, man. Like I was like crazy. That's all that story is. There's not like a fun laugh at the
Wow.
end. That was a
That's
horrible
insane.
thing.
Crazy for the waiter to.
What a ball. What a sack of fucking balls on that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to be back in the studio, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like my ASMR. So that's a bad story.
Yeah. The date actually wasn't that bad, but I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, you couldn't hold it in.
No, I didn't tell him.
You didn't?
Yeah.
Tell him now.
I don't even know how to find this guy. We went on one date.
Let's make this
really?
a serial podcast where we track down this man to tell him.
Why did it didn't work out?
I don't know. There just wasn't like crazy chemistry. And then I was down to like see him again. And then I didn't hear back. And then I was working at a restaurant and he came into the restaurant. And instinctively, I just waved at him because you wave at someone you know.
Right.
And then I realized we had been on a date and he hadn't texted me back. And I went, oh no.
Oh, it's okay. A wave is fine. You're good.
Yeah. But he was kind of like, hi. I was like, it was a weird move. But I was also like 19. So I was like nervous. And
You were
could've done-
19.
I
Oh my
was
God,
so
4 years
young
ago.
back then. Yeah.
You could have switched it up, though. You could have been like, hey,
Yeah. Max, how old was I? What year was it
It's
when I
like-
was 25?
You're
Look
like,
that up.
Okay.
I thought this was like Joe Rogan, like, hey, Jamie, pull this up. I have a memory of being a little kid.
Here's the thing.
who
You
won
can
the
ask-
World Series in 1926?
You can ask.
I can look that up easier.
You can ask Max something that's like, who's the third president? Or I could ask him, who's my third girlfriend? You get the same response, which is nothing. So that's why I like to ask him all crazy things, because I'm not getting a good answer no matter what.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You do that at home, even when he's not there. You're like, hey, Max, pull out the file, the Jensen file.
Max, when's my wife's birthday?
It's around mine. Is it September 10th?
Oh, it's September 11th. My wife says he actually knew that. Why? Because he's been fucking her for 2 years. But my wife's
2 years.
birthday is-
It went down one.
Oh, I don't count that 1 year. It's too hard.
He
to
wasn't
remember.
fucking her good.
You didn't know her yet.
I hate to not yes and you, but he was fucking her so good that I've purged it from my memory. So I don't count that year. The good fuck year. How long have we been doing the podcast, man?
Good fuck your tires.
Together, it's probably been like
I
2
meant
years.
today.
Oh, how long just today?
How long? I want to get off this thing. It's not going well.
Like 10 minutes.
And only?
Yeah.
Am I cutting you off too much? Is that the vibe of the podcast?
No, the
Or
vibe
is
of
it
the
more
podcast is-
interview?
I just came from a brutal fight with my child and right into a comedy podcast. So I'm trying to change my energy. And I think I'm taking out my anger on my children on you guys. So I apologize.
I do feel like one of your children right now.
Can I tell you about my day?
Sure.
Please.
Imagine we were like, no.
So I wake up this morning and Calvin, my son, he is
Great name.
sitting in his crib, covered he's soaking wet in piss, and he is covered in shit. So he shit all over himself and peed all over himself this morning. And I'm like, hey buddy, like, let's get you cleaned up. He goes, now. And I'm like, well, you want to sit in your shit? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, come on, we got to clean up. I didn't say shit, like, we got to clean you up. And he's like, now. No. And I'm like, come on, man, like, this isn't good. And he's like, do you like it? And he goes, I like it. He just liked it. So I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I gotta wrestle this kid. So then I wrestle him and I put him in his clean clothes. And he's crying hysterically because I took him out of his poop clothes. Send him to school. Nah, it's fine. They deal with whatever. Get him back. He's just screaming at me all day. I'm running late because he was like screaming at me. And
How old is he?
I don't know, man.
25.
33. It's older than man. Speaking of which, back to never mind.
Wait. Finish the story. What
Oh,
happened? What were
and-
you arguing about?
we weren't really arguing. He likes to say he's 2, so he likes to say no now to everything, and you just can't do anything. So I bring him home from school, and he saw a train in a hardware store.
Right.
So we go in. We literally walk in for a second, and the guy goes, "Sorry, man, we're closing." And I was like, "Oh, we got to walk out." And he threw a temper tantrum, so upset because he wanted to see this train. This guy loves trains. Goes crazy for trains.
Yeah.
Cried for, I'm not kidding, 45 minutes, to
Aw.
an hour straight, as loud as he possibly could. And I don't know how to be a parent. That's what people don't understand. I don't know how to be a dad. Like, so my instinct is like, rock him, just a couple jabs, just start going in on him, But you don't do that.
Body, head.
Yeah. Because I was raised at a different time, not with hippie parents. I was raised with psychopath parents who just to hit, you'd hit you. So I'm like, I don't want to hit him, but I don't know what to do. So I'm just like trying to be like a gentle parent. And I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy, you're all right. We'll just wait. So I just waited through him for screaming for 45 minutes. And then I look at my watch and I'm like, Tita, I got to leave in like 10 minutes. And she's like, okay, we'll just do this, and this, and then this other thing, and then do that. And I'm like, I have to go.
Do you
now? What?
Oh, I had a question, but I can wait.
Yes, that's it. That wasn't a great story.
Well, no, it was a question about the story, because I don't know.
Yeah, can you make it better?
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I never
The question is, what else you got on that? No, the question is, do you think when kids are having a temper tantrum like that, do you think it's really about the train, or do you think they just are upset or tired or have low blood sugar or something, and then they just choose something?
It's not about the train. He's absolutely tired. He's absolutely starving. He's hungry. And I'm like, let's go into the dinner. Let's go into I've got your best dinner. We did breakfast for dinner today. So we had waffles, strawberries, broccoli. These are his 3 favorite things. And I'm like, and if you eat it, I got a little ice cream for you. And he's just so angry because he's hungry but won't eat.
Yeah, it's almost like they have no sense of cause and effect, where they're like, well, the food will fix how I'm feeling.
They don't know.
They're like, I better stand strong until I feel better.
I just figured out I get angry if I'm hungry 2 days ago.
Really?
No.
I was going to say, do you really get angry if you're hungry?
I get hangry, but I'm better at it now because I'll just be like, I'm a fucking adult.
Do you guys have a one emotion that's your problem? Mine is for sure anxiety. I've never really had anger issues, but anxiety is everything comes back to anxiety for me.
Wild rage. I have wild rage.
Bone chilling.
Yeah,
Cut to him just ripping the backdrop off.
I have a rope.
Cut back to me. I'm dead. He's choked me and I'm dead.
I have a rope.
And how dare you ask me that?
I would hit a woman not because you should never hit a woman, but I want to hit everybody. I just want to start hitting everybody.
Right.
I would never hit a woman. Why did I say that? But I wouldn't hit a woman, but I also wouldn't hit Max because I don't hit people. You shouldn't hit anybody, but also I don't want to hit smaller people. I won't hit Pat, though. He's a sweet guy, too. So I'm not hitting anybody.
Who would you hit?
That's the best.
What?
You went from I want to hit everybody to listing everybody you wouldn't hit when who was everybody. You're out the window. You're like, I don't want to hit them. I don't want to hit that guy.
Yeah, you know what it is? I don't know what it is, man. I'm just
you want to hit yourself?
My son hits himself, and that makes me so sad. I go, buddy, don't hit yourself. Because he hit me, and I go, no hitting. And then he hits himself, and I'm like,
oh,
what is this, dude? Is this a thing I got to go to therapy for? Is this a thing? You're 2, and you're already this is fucked up. Are you already fucked up? Oh, I already ruined this kid? I give him so much love, I don't know what to do. Anyway, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll marry someone good. I'm trying. I don't know how to be a comedian anymore. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, what?
Is this what most of the episodes are like, or is this an insane day?
Dude, I honestly think
There's a lot of them.
the episodes have changed recently. It used to be like this really fun podcast where I'd say wild, crazy things. I'd say the last 6 episodes have been me spiraling into a wild depression every episode. And I'm like, I know. Look, guys, just come with me until we get to daycare. Once I get my littlest son into daycare, we're gonna get back and having a good time. But right now, it's me barely staying lips above water. Because I am drowning, folks.
I've never heard lips above water.
Because I don't breathe through my nose. It's always stuffy.
That's so funny. So you've adjusted it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. If my lips were underwater, I'm fucked. I'm just there. My nose is useless.
I got a deviated septum. What am I doing?
Right.
You know?
Do you need the surgery?
Buddy, I need a lot of surgeries.
But let's go through them.
This
Which
is
ones do you need?
like-
What do you-
Dude,
All right.
LASIK. I'd love to just do that.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Let's go. A bunch of us need it. We should just all march into a LASIK place and demand.
Demand.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll do it or we'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, and we better be able to see after, because we brought 5 guys that don't need it, because we got to think ahead, right?
Exactly,
'Cause they'll
you're
just
right.
Blind us one by one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best move they would do.
Yeah.
You see that with sniper rifles on the roof.
And the guy,
Red
that-
dots.
the guys that are like security wear mirrors, so they
Wait.
can shoot them with lasers. They'll bounce back.
Wait.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What lasers?
Laser eye surgery, LASIK.
Oh, so you're saying if those guys try to use the lasers
Yeah.
on them to kill them,
They can't.
mirrors.
Mirrors.
Of course, this is a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the idea of having snipers across the street at the old Sears that's shut down on the eye doctor's head. Like, it's like
There's always an old Sears.
going out of business.
Yeah,
we set
yeah.
up the sniper rifle, and we go, you're going to give 9 open mic comedians LASIK surgery tonight.
Yeah.
Or,
And they all fight in a pit to figure out who gets that bid.
Yeah, actually, what we do. Sorry, I cut you off because my.
Oh, I'm just saying 20 open micers. Like you show up to an open mic and the whole lineup has bits about their LASIK eye surgery. It's really funny.
I want to get a big old helium balloon, and we tie the doctor's children to the balloon, and then we
Right.
as the balloon is getting higher, I go, you do the LASIK good. This way, I'll shoot the balloon out of the air. If you
Right.
don't, I won't be able to hit it, and then your son is going to go into the sun.
Whoa.
See, that's
Yeah.
that's how you do it.
So our first step is to call every LASIK place and ask them 2 questions. Do you have children and do you love them?
And you will have a Sears that's out of business.
Yes, they're in Sears. How close are you to the closest Sears?
And am I a candidate for LASIK eye surgery?
Yeah, we just get there like, but you're not a candidate. You'll fucking do it, you son of a bitch. But you're not a candidate.
You shoot those lasers in my eyes.
LASIK. My teeth are all fucked. I should probably get some dentistry done.
Right.
I got to get back to the. I have a very itchy feet, the world's itchiest feet, and I had it fixed. And then my insurance. No,
Is it like a nerve thing or like a germ, like fungus, like a bacterial thing?
I go ahead and say neither. I have some crazy like eczema thing
Oh,
that
I
was.
was gonna say if you have smelly feet, you can put apple cider vinegar in a bathtub and just soak them for like 10 minutes,
Yeah,
and your feet will not be stinky.
well, that's great information for somebody else. So
that would probably kill him with like he's got
Open sores.
Yeah, his skin's like all cracked. Like
man,
Have you tried dipping them in acid?
I have a fork that I use to scratch my foot,
Oh,
and
foot fork.
foot fork. And one day, who knows why, my wife decided to wash it, and now it's just in the general population. I
no.
never told her, but one of those forks is dangerous. But it's washed, but it's never really washed. What are you gonna do?
Nah, it's washed.
It's washed.
Yeah.
It was never really washed. So I had this really bad foot itchy thing, right? And I was going to an allergist. But as classic Greg story happens, I flipped out on the receptionist so bad that I could never go back. And then my feet thing went
Why'd
bad
you
again.
flip out on the receptionist?
Because I flip out on everybody. Because
Oh,
if you
okay.
give me any kind of attitude, I don't stand for it. I have a real pride problem.
Right.
So this lady, me and my wife had to go at the same time. They called us. This is when we first had our little kid. They called us and we went and we got the baby. It was a brand new baby. We were drowning. We get the baby there. We're supposed to get seen, and the doctor goes, no, the receptionist lady goes, no, we can't see you both at the same time. It's like, we called. You said you could. And then she started yelling at us. And I went, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? And then I lost it. Everything got seen. It all got fixed. And then I went, well, guess I can't go there again. And then I just can't go back to that.
Oh, so they didn't
you
ban
decided to do that. They didn't tell you not to come.
No, I just decided I can't show my face.
How long
you.
ago
Okay,
was
that's
that?
different.
That was about 2 years ago. About a year and a half, maybe.
Your wife wears a mustache.
Well,
You wear a wig.
my insurance changed. No, I don't think go back. So there's that. Did I ever tell you the story about the? Sorry, I'm doing a lot here.
No, I love it.
Did I ever tell you the story about the GameStop? It was a GameStop I can never go back to. There's maybe 30 places in Manhattan that I just can't show.
The only place you could go to was Sears, and it's out of business.
There's only people that show me any fucking respect. There was like a video game store on St. Mark's, and there was this dude who worked there, and I went in one day, it's fucking 10 years ago or something like that,
Yeah.
looking for a old school wire for an old Nintendo, And I was like, hey man, Nick, do you get and he's just such a dick. I don't really like what he said, but he was like talking down to me. And I'm like, man, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? And I was like, I'm not one of these fucking nerds. I'll throw you out a goddamn window. And I lost it and I went, I can't. All right, I gotta go. And I just was like, fuck this, fuck you. I'm out. And I left. 5 years later, like 5 real years, maybe 10, who knows? A lot more than 5 or at least 5 years goes by. I go, I'm gonna go back in that gay store. I go, there's no way that guy still works there, right? I walk in, he's not there. I turn, I make direct eye contact with him, and I go, fuck, he's still here. And he looks at me, and goes, hey man, come here. And I'm like, I gotta fight this guy now, right? And he goes, let me ask you something. He goes, a bunch of years ago, did you and me get into like a big fight? And I was like, yeah, man, yeah, that happened. I remember that, right? And I'm like, I guess I got to fight this guy. And he goes, no, man, I got to be honest. I fucking remember that. I had a bad day and I took it out on you. And he goes, and I remember that because it was the meanest I ever was to a customer for no reason. And I felt bad. And he goes, I'm really sorry. And I went, wow, like this has never happened in my life. I almost started crying. We ended up hugging, and I was like, oh man, it's all good. He was like, yeah. And he was like, did you ever get that wire? I was like, no, I had waited 5 years. I'm gonna get it today. And I bought the wire. He didn't remember exactly which one it was, but it was like a Nintendo wire. I bought the wire, left, and it was like, that has never happened in my life. Like he remembered. It was like crazy how he remembered. And that was that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. I got a ton of those.
Wait, you got a ton of those going back 5 years later and everything.
Never works out like that. I got a lot of stores I can't walk into. I got a lot of blocks I can't walk on.
Is there the whole Lower East Side's off?
Banned from every Chick-fil-A on the East Coast.
Because you're an ally.
Word got around.
Wait, have you ever been in like a fist fight?
Yeah.
Have you been in a lot of fist fights?
Yeah.
Have you been in a fist fight?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, hell yeah. You want to go first?
Wait, we're gonna fight?
No.
I just had this crazy fight in high school. Like,
mine was like 3 weeks ago.
really?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Both kids on you. The last one was on a bus, and the first one was at
Tell me the bus story.
the bus story.
Yeah.
Okay, so my friends and we got drunk downtown, and then one of my friends wanted weed, and this was back when weed wasn't legal. So I was hammered. I don't smoke weed because it makes me go crazy, right? Like it just super paranoid and stuff. And then I was like drunk though, and I was like, I'll just ask people. I asked people, and then eventually the guy's like, yeah, come here. And then we're like, okay. And then the guy is trying to keep it all like low profile because it's on like the street with all the clubs, and there's like cops around and stuff. But there's enough passersby that you can hide this sort of thing. And then they make the exchange, and my friend's like, hey, man, this feels a little light. And the guy's like, all right, man, I don't want any shit. Just take your money back. And that's it. He's like, honestly, it breaks up big, but if you don't want it, just fucking walk away. I don't want any trouble.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't want a scene because he's trying to make money.
Right.
And then my buddy's like, no, man, you're ripping people off. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Right. And
This
then
is a drug deal. Back when drug deals were drug deals.
yeah, but my buddy was like, I used to Thai box, and I think he thought that I could beat the guy up for him. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not your bodyguard, especially if you're going to pick a stupid fight with people. Right.
Yeah.
So then this whole thing arcs up. My buddy won't shut up. I'm trying to get him away. That guy's friend comes up and is like, because the guy that like was dealing was super chill.
Great guy.
It was just like, hey man, all right, just chill the fuck out.
Right.
Here's your money, whatever. Right? He's like, I don't want anything. His friend's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And then him and my friend start arguing up. And then the guy, the drug dealer, was trying to calm his friend down. It was like, hey man, just let's not start any shit here. Like, and he was just like, just get the hell out of here. I'm taking my friend away. And then him and his friend get in a fist fight.
Him and his friend.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a twist.
You're right. And then we walk away.
You
right?
just
This is insane. So I'm hammered and I gotta take a piss. So I'm taking
him and his friend.
Him and his friend, yeah.
That's the
And his
equivalent of-
buddy goes down, and then you see like cops show up, and that's the exact opposite of what they wanted,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
This
And
poor
then-
fucking guy.
And then I'm just like, man. And then my buddy still had the weed and the money because they got
Oh.
fight.
Yeah.
And then after that, he breaks it up, and he's like, it did break up. Right? But it doesn't stop
Great
there.
weed.
Yeah, and it was good. And he's like, man, I feel bad,
Yeah.
So then what happens is that I take a piss, right? But I'm like hammered, and I'm trying to avoid because the piss is coming back because it's like on because the building
What you
slope
said
to
made
the
no sense.
street.
So you're peeing on the wall,
I'm peeing in a wall.
and you're getting
And
a
the
lot of
piss is
splashback.
coming back down the sidewalk, and
Classic.
I'm just being silly, and I'm like, and then I piss on my leg
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm hammered, right? And then I'm like, God. Then the subway closes at like 1 or 2. It closes before last call, which is insane,
Right.
right? So we have to take what's called the Vomit Comet in Toronto. It's a Yonge bus that it goes up Yonge Street, which is the longest street in Canada. I think, right? Right. So then we're on that, and who else is on there?
The drug dealer.
The drug dealers.
Yeah.
So there's like a group
And the
of
friend?
and the friend.
That they already got into a fight. They're
Yeah.
cool now.
They're like going home wherever they're going home.
Yeah.
We're going home. That guy that was chill is still chill. He's in the middle of the bus. We're closer to the front,
Yeah.
right? And I'm standing so my pant leg is on my leg, so
Mm-hmm.
it dries quicker.
Sure.
Right? And I'm just up at the front of the bus. And then this kid, the drug dealer's friend,
Yeah.
goes and sits beside my friend who is being a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I stupidly sit beside him because I'm trying to calm it down.
Right.
But then his friend comes up. Now the drug dealer's like, hey, I'm not going to let these
Now
two
everyone's
guys
back.
beat my friends up.
Even though the guy I just beat up,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let these two other guys beat up the guy I just beat up.
Yeah, I beat this
Or
guy
the guy
up.
beat me
No
up.
one else beats this guy up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, man, I'm just trying to calm. And he's like, get your hands up out my chest and all this stuff. And
Right. Sure.
stuff starts kicking off. And then there's like a melee,
Yeah.
right? The bus pulls over. And I didn't know this. My other friend who wasn't, there was like 5 of us.
Mhm.
And the guy that was being an idiot, right? There was another guy who wasn't being an idiot, and his dad used to be a bus driver, and he told us this after, that if there's people fighting on the bus, both parties get kicked off.
Yeah.
But the bus driver was like just petrified.
Yeah. Well, the bus driver's gonna be like, I think I know who was right here.
Yeah, he's just
It's a
he's-
bus court.
Yeah, it's not bus court.
Yeah.
They should get judges to drive buses.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, bus court.
Yeah. Everyone who's been fighting, step aside. Present your witnesses. But go ahead. Yeah.
So, long story short, we try to kick them off the bus because there's more of us. They're smaller. After my buddy actually got stabbed, right? But
What? During this?
during the melee,
Uh-huh.
he didn't know. We were in a cab because I was pushing them with my foot off the bus.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I don't want to hurt
Somebody
anybody.
die?
But no one
Oh,
died.
Okay, good.
And then I was just pushing them with my foot off.
Yeah.
Right? And then he kept coming back. So then I was pushed him a little harder, and then it turned to kicks. And then one of my friends, they grabbed my foot, and one of my friends hit him. And then after I heard that, the guy came up on the bus with a knife, and my friend kicked the knife out of his hand.
Nice.
And then this guy comes back on the bus, and I had a milk crate,
Uh-huh.
or he hit my friend with a milk
Where
crate.
did you get a milk crate?
No, the guys went off the bus and they came back on.
With
They
milk
brought a milk crate.
Great.
I haven't told this story in a
I'm
long
loving
time,
it.
so there's
We're
lot
having
of
a great
these- So then he comes on and he winds up.
I was also real quick just say so many major plot lines that you've just been fast forwarding over.
Yeah.
But go
Do
ahead. Milk crate, stabbed.
I'm really bad at telling stories.
Oh, I love it. Keep going.
And then my friend, I try to pull him out of the way, but he gets clipped with it. And then I'm trying not to fight anybody. I'm trying to push them off the bus and
Sure.
stuff. But now I'm like, oh, my friend got hit in the head with a milk crate. Now
Right.
I'm pissed off.
Sure.
Right. So I was I was gonna elbow him in it. I hit the milk crate out of his hand, and I was going like this. But my other friend that was trying to avoid everything because he's like, these fucking idiots. All I want to do is go home.
Right.
He comes out of nowhere and he chicken wings a guy.
Which friend?
This guy that was in the back. I forget.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Sure.
He was tall dude.
Came in
right?
chicken winging a guy.
Chicken wing the guy.
Yeah.
So the guy's like this. So he goes from hating a guy with a milk crate and then
To
he
in a
gets
chicken
hit
wing.
to chicken wing.
Sure.
Gets thrown off and he's like, I'm out. And then they both run.
Great.
Right. And then we get in a cab.
Uh-huh.
Right. Because they're like, the cops are coming. So we're like, we'll get the fuck out of here.
And now your friend's bleeding to death.
And we didn't know, but he thought he was like itchy or something. And then he brought his hand back and it wasn't like, it had blood on it.
Yeah.
And then we went to the hospital. He got stabbed with like a pen knife.
Oh.
Like it wasn't that. And it
But
missed.
did he think
his-
for a minute? He was like, I'm going to die.
No, he was just like, we're like, we got to go to the hospital.
Was it a stab or like a slice?
No, it was a stab.
Oh.
And the doctor said he was lucky. It was like like it didn't hit any vital organs or anything like that.
Right.
Oh,
But like an inch up or down and he would have been fucked or something.
geez.
So in this
Now questions.
in this fight
Did you smoke
story,
the weed?
They did before we got to the bus.
Oh.
That's why he said it broke up big.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So now in this fight story, the last
Yeah.
fight you were in, really your fighting in this was you pissed your pants and you kind of kicked a guy off the bus, but really was pushing with your feet.
Yeah, I did. Like I don't like fights.
You could have told us that before the story happened.
Yeah. I've
were
been
like a
in
main player.
My buddy, my other friend, we were in a bar.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. We were in this Irish pub in Toronto,
Mhm.
and there was this group of people beside us who were being really loud. There was this little Irish guy,
Yeah.
and he was sitting on a.
Wait, you
bar
said
stool.
little Irish guy and you literally did 3 inches with your hand. Was he an action figure guy?
No, he was like 5 foot nothing.
Okay.
And he was sitting on like a bar stool, and he was surrounded by all these huge guys, right?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Right, sure.
and my friend's pissed.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut the fuck up. Right? Like
Yeah.
he has anger problems, right? And then they come over, the little guy.
Wait, the little Irish guy has anger problems?
No, yeah, and my friend.
Right.
They both
Okay.
have anger problems. They start yelling back and forth and then
Mm-hmm.
they cool it. But then there's another melee, right? The little guy comes up behind my friend
Uh-huh.
because my friend's like leaning back on his chair and he rips him down to the floor.
Wow.
Right. And my other friend who got stabbed in the last story.
Yeah.
This
He's back.
He's back. He's fine. He jumps over the table and
Right.
just like he just launches at this guy. And then my friend that's on the floor, all he hear him say is, my glasses.
Wait.
And that's all he cared about.
course,
He just
right.
was like, yeah.
Wait, the little guy got stabbed. Is that also the guy who started the fight?
No. The
guy who started the original
the guy,
fight.
the guy that started,
You still hang out with the guy, the original fight?
not as much.
Oh, wow. Still in the
No,
mix,
he
though.
was in the mix. He just had a bad night. He was a little
tired.
I guess, yeah.
Not
He
looking to
needed
start
to
fights?
eat something. But then, like, so I'm trying to leave names out of this for some reason.
Yeah, just say first name.
Yeah. So Steve was the guy that jumped over the table, and Mike's the guy that fucking was a chatty dude.
Yeah.
Steve, as also the guy that got stabbed. And then Jared was the guy that was yelling in the bar,
Yeah.
right? And then there's the Irish guy.
Yeah.
And then when I got up, because all the tables cleared,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then there's like 15 people.
Right.
And what I do is I stand in my fighting stance, but I'll keep my hands open and I'll be like, hey man, let's just calm down.
Right.
Because then I can just do that if
Right,
I
right.
have to, or block or
I want to also remind you this is an audio medium.
Yeah.
You got a lot of hand gestures. So you
yeah, but I thought it was on there.
I know, but
All right.
punch.
So I keep open hands, or I have to make this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Sound effects.
So that's the stories.
It was great.
And then the fights didn't happen as crazy as they would have if I just,
Jam some people up.
jammed some people up.
Yeah. Can I tell a fun bus story? Unless you want to
Yeah.
tell one. You have any-
Oh, I've gotten in so many fights.
Really?
No.
Well, you're only 25. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, I think the woman thing has a little bit. I don't think women are,
You'd be-
by and large,
You're not from
fist
New
fighting
Jersey.
as much.
You meet some dirty Italian girls from Jersey. You'll see what happens. You'll see what happens. Can I share a bus story? I have because you
For
said a
sure.
bus story. I have a bus fight story. And I'll try to keep it quick. And I'll only do one.
What-
He did 2 in a row, but I'll do 1 in a row. And then
One in a row.
One in a dot.
Are you just gonna relay that Bob Odenkirk movie to us right now?
I wish. It's a great movie.
It is a beautiful movie.
Man, I was in high school. This is, and I'm sorry for anybody who may have. I don't know if I told this in the podcast before. I'm in high school. We were on a ski trip. We went on a ski trip. Now I'm from the South End, so the South End was kind of poor. So the ski trips is like crazy. Like we're going on a ski trip,
Right.
So, and I didn't. And but it was like mostly the North End kids were going on the trip. So they all sat in the front of the bus, and I had 2 friends who were North Enders. We'll call one T, my man T. Well, I'll just call him T. He was there. But I didn't get to sit with them. I had to sit in the back. Now I'm sitting in the back with this other high school. It was Cherry Hill High School. We shared this bus. And I'm sitting next to this girl who was overweight, which, no big I don't know why I'm saying anything. Just so you know that she was a bigger girl. And behind me, these guys in the bus started, we had like a TV and they started hitting her with spitballs. It's like classic bad guy shit. Right? And I'm like sitting here. And I'm looking at her, and they're saying names. They're calling her like names, and they're fucking hitting her with spitballs. And I'm just like, and I look at her, and I see, and look, I get a little romantic with these stories, so whatever. I see a single tear. No, I saw she had a tear come out of her eye, and I went, man, fuck this, right? So I stood up, and I was like, hey man, who's being the asshole, right? And this dude stands up. I swear to God, he was 6'9". No shirt on. He was glistening. He was ripped. And he goes, I'm being the asshole. What are you going to do about it? And I was like, fuck, I am fucked, right? So I held the 2 side. There's like these guardrails, right? So I just held on the guardrails. And as he came at me, I lifted myself up. I kicked him with both feet. As I kick him with both feet, I used to wear Jenko jeans, so they were huge. He grabs my Jenko jeans, pulls them directly off. Now I am naked from the waist down. I fall on the ground. This guy took my jeans. He threw them. They went like an airplane with a window that smashed. They sucked right out. They just went right out the window.
No, they didn't.
They threw my jeans right out the window. He's on top of me, and he's trying to punch, but I'm kind of like blocking and holding.
Yeah.
And then his school's all his friends. They're all holding me down. And then I'm like I'm now being held down, and I see him. He's standing like on top of me, and his fist is up, and I'm like, well, I'm fucking dead. Like this guy's about to hit me. I'm fucking dead.
Right.
But I hear from the front of the bus, my boy T, I'm not going to say his name, who currently now is a physics teacher. So you would imagine what he looked like in high school. Very nerdy, skinny kid. He goes, not today, motherfucker! He's like,
He does.
like a flying squirrel from the front of the bus, swoops through the air, lands on the guy. And remember, his name was Guy. That's how his name was Guy. And he would have kind of a bigger dick guy. His name was Guy. Taco kind of wrestles him to the ground. The teachers come. They break it up. My shoes are gone. My pants are gone. I'm now sitting with this. It was Aquabats t-shirt, I remember. And I was big. I used to wear bigger clothes back in the day, And I'm sitting there next to the girl, and I remember she had a Kid Dynamite hoodie. And the reason I said she was big was because she takes the hoodie off and gave it to me, and I put it on as pants. So I put my legs through the hoodie on the pants, and she goes, you didn't have to do that. And I swear to God, I'm not kidding. I went, a beautiful woman like yourself shouldn't have to deal with things like that. And we made out. I wasn't in any way attracted to her. I don't even care. But to me, it was like, I gotta make this story happen. I was like, I gotta make this story all the way. And we hooked up on the fucking bus, and we got off the bus, and that was that. And I had no pants or wallet for the trip. I had snowboarding pants and other clothes like in the got out. But I had no jeans. I had to wear snowboard boots everywhere for the whole trip because I didn't have sneakers.
How long were the?
It's like a weekend or something.
Oh, okay.
It was probably like a weekend or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It was wild.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like a classic Greg story. That
Buddy,
not for comedy,
That's
but
how
for
you
friends.
tell a fucking story.
I've told it maybe 4,000 times.
Yeah.
I know the ups and the downs.
Can you help me write my story?
Just tell it 100 times to all your friends when they're. That's all you do. Just tell it. Just every time somebody goes, hey man, what are we doing later? I go, actually, I was in this fight in a bus. And they go, whoa. And every time they try to walk away, you grab their shoulders. You go, hey, come here, hang on.
It doesn't matter where I am. DMV, it doesn't matter. I'm telling this story.
Tell 'em, man. I never run bits on stage. I run them to Max on the phone at 3 a.m.
Max, get up. I have an idea.
Oh man,
I just remembered I kicked an anthill one time. Wake up.
Maddie, I feel like we've hogged the microphones. You never fought anybody.
I've never fought anybody. The craziest story I can think that's in this vicinity is I maybe almost accidentally kidnapped a lady.
Wait, what?
Well, I don't think legally. I don't think that's what happened.
Tell
We're
me.
trying to be good Samaritans.
Let me pause you real quick before we get started. I don't care about the details. You have a good time with this story. The truth matters not. Kidnap them. Who cares?
No, this is the truth. So, okay, it was my 18th birthday, and I was doing a show at my home club, and we were like, and I was about to turn 18 at midnight, and the earlier show though was letting out downstairs, and there was this lady who was like stumbling drunk, like almost like wandering into traffic. Like we had to like stop her, and we were like, "Whoa, you're like about to get hit by a car." We're like holding her up, and we're trying to go like, "Where are your friends? Who did you come with?" She didn't know, and we were like, "Okay, we can like get you an Uber." And for some reason, she was like, "I can't take an Uber." She like was too drunk to type in her address, and I was like, "Well, our show doesn't start for like an hour. I have my car." I was like, "Do you live in this area?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "We'll just give you a ride home." Because like it's not safe to leave her. Like she's clearly like so me and my other friend, we get in the car, we're like driving her home. We go to she tells us the address verbally because she's like, and we pull up. And we're like, "Okay, is this you?" And she goes, "No." And I was like,
my son.
"What?" And she was like, "I don't live." And we were like, "Whose house is this?" And she was like, "I want to get out of the car." And we were like, "Now we just have a lady in our car." So we drive back to the club. She like wrestles her way out of the car, and as we're pulling into the parking lot, like jumps out. And we get to security at the club. We were like, we tried to help her out and give her a ride home. We don't know.
You're like returning her. You're like, we tried to help. But
We
we're
tried.
back.
There's no use. And the club calls. I think they called an ambulance because at this point it was like, oh, she's clearly like like she's really fucked up.
Yeah.
And an ambulance comes. No, I'm sorry. I think the cops come first. Yeah, the cops. No. This is what it was. The ambulance comes first, and we're like, okay, she's in good hands. There's an ambulance where she's not gonna die. You know what I mean? Like that was our thing. We didn't want to just like leave her and let her wander into the street. So we go upstairs to do the show, and this show in this upstairs room, there's a window that overlooks. You can kind of see the parking lot. And we see more like cop cars come up.
Whoa.
And we're like, what? We're looking at the window. She punches one of the cops.
Hell yeah.
Gets arrested. and then I turned 18.
You helped. You helped us.
Like literally as I was turning 18, the woman that we tried to like help get home safely, I turn around and she's punching a cop. My friends were like, yeah, welcome to adulthood. Don't try to do nice things for people.
That's the thing as a kid. You always want to be a hero because like in the story is like you save someone's life, but the reality is none of those people want to be saved. None of them. You should let them all die. They're all horrible. They're all whatever.
Kick and scream all the way to hell.
Can I go?
Yeah,
Can
please.
I go next? Is that all right? Do you mind?
No.
Because I have a similar.
Oh yeah.
So I used to be straight edge, right? I didn't drink till I was like 30 or some bullshit or 29. I don't know how old I was. But anyway, I didn't drink for a long time. And at the time, my friend, I went to go see the Beastie Boys, and it was Tribe Called Quest's. It was their final tour. Like they were never. It was like the last time we were gonna ever see them. They ended up touring again, which was everyone's like, well, fuck off. So that kind of ruins a little bit of the story. But at the time, this is like the last time we were gonna see Tribe Called Quest. It was the Hello Nasty tour. So it was when Beastie Boys came out with the Hello Nasty album. So I'm there with my friend Mark, who him and this other girl got down. They got seats front, like pretty much like down, whatever. They got us tickets in the nosebleeds. So it was me and then two girls who I did not know. And I'm sitting next to these girls, and I did not drink at the time. So these two girls are getting smashed. And we were like high school. We were in high school. So they were like getting high school smashed. Like first time ever. And I'm sitting next to the one girl, and the other girl is behind me. And the girl next to me, she just starts vomiting and passing out. And I'm like, she threw up all over me. And I was like, what the fuck? This is fucking horrible. I'm like, whatever. Then she started passing out. And I remember she starts like choking, like doing this thing. And like my memory is like weird, but at the time I'm being like, she's gonna choke on her vomit. Like this, I've heard of that. Like as a straight edge kid, you're like, I've heard of this. I must be the hero. So like, I stick my tongue. I stick my tongue in her mouth. I must clear a pathway. I stick my finger.
So
in her
I go down on her and blow into her pussy and hope that it'll.
So I stick my finger in her mouth to clear a pathway, and just vomit just comes out like blah. And her friend is going, stop it! And she starts kicking me from behind. It's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you're your friend. Something's happening here. Like, just chill the fuck out, right? And then her friend is kicking me, and this girl just keeps like passing out. And I'm like, I don't know what to fucking do. So security comes up. They see like all, and people are screaming, "Get your fucking girlfriend under control." Meanwhile, I had a Youth of Today shirt on. It was like these X's on the hand. I'm like, this is not me. I don't even fucking know these people. But we're at Continental Arena. She's like, it's like real steep, but she's like almost falling down. So I could like push her against the chair, like try whatever, and then she would like pass out, and then she'd throw up, and then she'd like gag, and I'm like, I don't know what to fucking do. I don't drink. I don't know what to handle this. Security, like these, like not security, but like the people come up, and they have like a stretcher or whatever, and they grab her and they put her in, and meanwhile this girl's going, "You're getting my friend kicked out," screaming at me, and I'm like, I'm covered in vomit, and I'm like, what the fuck was that, right? The girl, there's a lady who was like the seater. She comes up to me and she goes, "We got to get you cleaned off." She goes, "I saw what happened there." She was like, "You know them?" And I'm like, "I don't even know them." And she was like, "Okay, come with me." She brings me downstairs. She hands me off to somebody else, and I'm not exactly sure how this all went down, but they bring me down to call my mom. My mom was gonna bring me some clothes. As I'm waiting, she goes, "Don't worry, honey, we're gonna take care of you." Right? As we're waiting, this black dude walks in, and I go, I was like, I fucking know this guy. I'm like, who's this guy? And I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and he's like, "Rough night," and I'm like, "Yeah, man," and I don't know, whatever, blah blah blah. And he was like, and I was like, "I know you. Do you work at Sears?" I used to work at Sears, so actually, that's where that all came from. I was gonna give up. I used to work at Sears in the kids' department. And that's why that was in my mind. So I was like, "Do you?" He's with his kid, and I was like, "Do you shop at Sears?" And he was like, "No, man, I don't shop." And she tells this guy the story, and he goes, "All right, man." He was like, as he's talking to me, he goes, "We got to." As he's saying this, Mike D from the Beastie Boys walks by, and he goes, "Yo, my man, what up?" And he said something. He said they knew each other. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? What is fucking happening here? Whatever. My mom comes with the clothes. That guy's gone. The lady goes, the lady's like, "Okay, we have new seats for you." So he brings me down to direct front row of the fucking Beastie Boys show. And I'm like,
Oh my
this
God.
is unfucking believable. And she was like, "Yeah, man." She was like, "We thought what you did was we got you," whatever. So I'm like standing like whatever, front row, Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys come on. I missed mostly of Tribe Called Quest. Beastie Boys come on, and they're like, whatever, and they go, "Hey, we got special friends in the fucking crowd. Make some noise for Run DMC," and points to the dude that I just saw. And it was fucking Jam Master Jay, and I had no idea that it was Jam Master
You
Jay.
thought you worked at Sears?
And it was fucking Jam Master Jay got me fucking front row at a fucking Beastie Boys concert.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then it was like whatever. We got in the car, and then the next day, the girl who, I'm not gonna be a dick, but whatever, she was like, "I saved her fucking life. Like, I'm so sorry. Whatever. That's what happened." Calls me screaming, going, "Because you fucking got me in trouble. I'm not allowed to leave the house. My parents found out. Blah blah blah." And
Wait, how'd you get your
fucked me."
number?
Because she was best friends. So my friend Mark, who got me the tickets.
Oh, so they weren't total strangers.
No, they weren't total
Okay,
strangers.
okay.
They were friends with the girl who my friend Mark went with.
Gotcha.
So him and Mark, they went down there, and then they were up there with me. And I remember she fucking cursed me out the next day, and I was like, "Okay, lady, great. I'm never helping a person again in my life."
Damn.
Yeah,
That's how villains are made.
that is helpful. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever told that one before, but that's fun.
It's a great story.
Yeah, I love the. Now you go. All right, go ahead.
What kind of story are you after?
I don't know, Max. Do you have a random word generator?
I can look one up.
Yeah, look one up.
I could find a.
I could do a story about when I got okay. So me and my friends, I used to go to Australia to do like festivals and stuff.
Comedy festivals?
Yeah,
You've
and
been
there
in
was
comedy so long. We're so old.
yeah. I knew Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
No, but I used to go there for like 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
And in between Adelaide and Melbourne, there was like 10 days
Mm-hmm.
where we would always go on a road trip.
Mm-hmm.
And this one time we went up the Gold Coast, and there was this place called like 10 Mile Beach or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's this like black rock face that goes onto like this white sand beach. And then just from horizon to horizon, it's a beach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we do psychedelics. So we were doing acid this one day. And my friend who was like my shaman. Like he introduced me to all of them.
Sure.
His name is Nick. He was just like, yeah, man, just remember to stay hydrated and all that stuff. Like you can get high and you forget that we're in the sun all day, right? So then I, at this point, hadn't had a bad trip yet, right? And on our way up the Gold Coast, I met this lady from another festival, and we went to her place. And then like we wound up like having a long distance relationship, right? But that first time we like hooked up and stuff, and she had a kid, right?
With you, wait, what?
Not with me.
Oh.
She had a kid from a
you like
previous
just
thing.
brush over these very important parts of the story.
Right. Which
We had a long
she
distance
had, like,
relationship because one time we had sex and she got pregnant.
she had like a 15-year-old at that point.
Yeah.
Right? Not my kid.
Sure.
Right? So then I get high, right? And I'm in the sun, and whenever I get high and I start tripping out, I'm like, if I have like intrusive thoughts or whatever, I go, okay, if these are still there when you're not high, they're real. But for now, you're fucking high.
Right.
So just try not to do that, like go crazy. But I'm like tripping balls, right? I'm sitting in the sun. My friends are playing in like there's like this estuary or whatever. Where is it? The ocean meets a river.
Estuary?
The beach.
Is it called
Estuary?
Beach.
But it's like brackish water.
Brackish?
Yeah, where it's like
these college words. We have brown water. You mean shit water?
You just push the table out of the way. Your pants fall off. I'm like, he always takes his pants off before he fights. No, so they're there, right? And I'm in the sun and I'm tripping balls and I'm just like, I'm a motherfucker, you know? I'm just like having this, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Right? And then, which is stupid because we both had a great time. Right. So then I'm tripping balls for a while, and then my friend walks over, and they were doing what they call nangs, which is like whippets, right? You know,
like a Chinese word or something?
No, it's just Australians call them
Nangs?
nangs, because I guess the noise they make or something. I don't know.
Nang? All right, go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting up your story.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. So he was doing whippets by the water, and he's like, he walks by, he's like, hey man, you want to do some whippets? And then he saw me, he's like, oh bro, what's going on? He's like, you're having a rough time, eh?
Yeah.
You should get out of the sun, come with me, right?
Yeah.
And
Come into the brackish water.
yeah, come with the brackish water. But like, I'm having this bad trip in my head. I'm like, my whole life has been a lie.
Yeah.
I'm getting indoctrinated into a cult, you know? Because
I'm like
I
that
look
right now,
over.
I'm not even high. Go ahead. Sorry.
Because my friend, his name's Eric. He's sitting on top of the hill and he looks very stoic, right? And I'm like, he's the ringleader, right? But I'm at the same time, I'm going, I'm just fucking high. I've taken too much acid, right?
Right.
And later on, I found out I had sunstroke too, right? So and then there's this big guy. His name, what was his name? Let's just say Liam.
Yeah,
right. It doesn't matter. So that guy, he's big and he looks like John Goodman, right? He's a super fun guy. They're all great dudes, right? And he's by the riverside, not facing me.
Sure.
Right. I'm walking with Nick. And I'm drinking water. He's like, just keep drinking. You're probably dehydrated and stuff. Right. He's like, yeah. But he knows I'm being weird. He's like, is everything all right? But in my head, I'm like, this is it. I'm getting indoctrinated, right? Yeah. And then I'm just like, I'm so high. I'm having these intrusive thoughts. Nick just keeps checking in on me. He's like, hey, buddy, are you sure? He's like, you just need to get out of the sun and like in the water and like, you know, drink the water and blah, blah, blah. And then as we get to the edge of the water, the big guy Liam that looks like John Goodman turns around, and it turns out that the bottom of that like lake had clay, like marble clay, and he was covered in marble clay. And he had fashioned 2 horns on his head.
That's not cool.
Right?
John Goodman did this?
Sorry?
Did John Goodman do this?
Yeah. And he goes, welcome to the baptism. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Right? But then everyone starts laughing, and then I laugh, and I'm just like, that's when it's sort of like the synergy of that situation made my brain melt.
Yeah, sure.
But you know,
people always do the highest shit when you don't want it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, don't do this shit. I'm too high for this.
Yeah.
Can't be doing Devil Clay Monster.
Yeah,
But I'm high on acid.
Yeah.
And burning from the sun.
Yeah.
I'm sun dying out here. Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then after that, I got in the water. I was really cold. He's like, yeah, because you're sunstruck. It's actually not that cold. Your body's just fucking needs to cool the fuck down. Oh, I gotta go.
I got pause. Is there anyone in the chat, by the way?
Yeah, people like it.
What are they saying? Anyone say anything?
Someone said this is a hoot so far.
Hell yeah, dog.
So far, it's gonna
So far.
nosedive.
He goes, I don't believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
So far, but we'll see. Greg can tank this thing.
Hoot is so wholesome. and
I do
Sweet.
like hoot. My fans say hoot.
Can
Whip it
I
up
ask?
for him. Whip it up. Whip it up.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, but you gotta whip it up.
Oh, can I?
This is how
can
you whip it up.
can I
Whip
ask-
it up. Friday Night Greg.
can I-
Benji,
can-
whip it up.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So did I mishear you, or did you say you drew X's on your hand? Your straight edge.
I used to draw X's on my hand.
So that's what you do before you go out, so they know not to serve you,
So
or
that
what?
they knew that I was straight as the line that you sniffed up your nose. People needed to know that.
Oh, it's like an accessory.
I'm as straight as the line that you sniffed up your nose. I'm as hard as the shit that you swallowed down your throat. Yeah, well, you put X's because it was like, yeah, I think originally the X on the hand was people would do that like if they couldn't drink, and so straight edge kids would do it on purpose to be like, no, man, I'm not. Yeah, just so you know, I'm straight.
Yeah, I knew a guy in Toronto that he did that,
Yeah.
but he got him tattooed on,
Yep, that's the classic straight edge thing to do.
and
Get a
then he
tattoo.
started drinking again.
Yep, and they do coke 2 years ago.
yeah,
Every straight
yeah,
edge kid.
yeah. Because once you said that, I looked at your hands. I was like, oh, he must either very good laser job.
Now you draw 'em. So I'll tell you this though, because I was straight edge because my I grew up with a lot of drugs, and I was afraid of drugs, and I didn't want to be drugged, and I didn't like when
What, like family members and stuff, or friends?
my dad was
What-
alcoholic. I had a
Right.
heroin junk, a lot of junkies that lived around me, a lot of that bullshit.
Where did you grow up again?
I grew up in this town, Bloomfield, in New Jersey. I grew up like a block
Okay.
of like Newark, New Jersey,
Right, right.
East Orange. I lived like close to there. So I saw a lot of that shit. And
Right.
I was like, I don't want to do this. And straight edge was just an easy way to get out of it. So if someone was like, hey, you want to drink? I couldn't be like, nah, I don't feel like it. Because someone was like, well, come on. But I was like, no, man, I'm straight edge. It was a thing, right?
and
And
it
was
sounds
that-
cool. Like it sounds
What?
cooler than just like I'm sober.
It sounds cooler, but I learned later people didn't really think it was very cool.
But at what point did you decide you were straight edge? How did you find out about straight edge? And was straight edge like a big thing at that point?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big thing in like the hardcore and punk scene. So what happened was my brother was like,
And is it still today? Like, is
I
it
don't
still
really,
a big
I'm
thing? or what?
42. I'm out.
Okay.
Or anything. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's still straight edge kids.
You don't just ever pick up the phone and be like, you guys still straight edge?
Well, that's the thing. What happened was I just didn't drink or do drugs. My brother was like, you're straight edge. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay, I'll be straight edge. Right. And so I was. And
Right.
then I started hanging out with straight edge kids. And then I realized that I hated all the straight edge kids.
Right.
Are they like
because-
nerdy theater kids? Kind of thing?
No. They were like punk dudes who were looking for a reason to fight people that weren't. They were like, if you drink, we break your cigarettes in front of you and then fight you. And I was like, I didn't like.
Wait, they
like,
fight people who drink?
that. Yes, it was. They were.
It's like proselytizing.
Yeah, no, it was a cult. It was like a lot of these kids were like, they weren't doing it for the reasons I was doing it, which was like, yeah, I was afraid that drugs would ruin my life, and I had friends whose drugs ruined their life.
Right.
These kids were just the same as every other punk kid. They wanted to fight people. They just wanted a reason.
They just wanted clear minds so they could
Yeah.
win the fights.
They thought that they were like holier than thou.
Right.
And so the day I said I'm not going to call myself straight edge anymore, I went to a hardcore show, and I had my friends with me, and these were the juice dudes who were kind of straight edge, and we were like hanging out.
Right.
And I used to have a Volkswagen GTI. Man, I loved that car. I loved it. Anyway, we get out.
Great car.
It was a great car. Anyway, we get out, and some dude runs back to the car and goes, "Yo, they're checking for weapons at the car. They're checking for weapons at the door, so leave them in the car." And some dude, so people just threw knives. It was my front seat. I remember looking, knives, brass knuckles, and then a dude threw nunchucks. And I went, "Yeah, I'm not hanging out with fucking Ninja Turtles. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not hanging out with people who carry nunchucks." I was like, these aren't my fucking people.
Yeah.
I'm not straight edge anymore. I'm not going to drink or do drugs because I don't want to do that, but I'm not, this isn't my crew. I
Right.
can't be with these fucking people anymore. And like, so I was like, I don't, whatever.
That's like a Naked Gun scene or something.
That's insane.
It's
Yeah.
just nunchucks.
Dude,
It's
it
like,
was comedic.
who the fuck carries
Who
nunchucks?
carries nunchucks? Someone threw a bow staff down.
Yeah.
AK-47. I'm like, what are we doing? We're going to a punk show for this?
A bazooka.
Yeah. So I didn't like that. And then, real quick, Max, how are we doing on time? Because I kind of want to tell one more story.
We're at over an hour, I think.
We're over an hour?
Yeah.
Maybe we were supposed to do a page. What time's your spot?
10:20.
Oh, okay. All right. You
Just
okay
gotta text
too?
one.
I'm
for the
good.
website.
Yeah.
I want to do one more story. You have a story? I want to do one more story, and then if you guys have a story, we'll do a story. And you have time for the Patreon?
How long is that? I'm good for whatever.
No. Okay. Well, I'll ask you off air, so there's no pressure.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you how I started drinking. Oh God. Well, one of these stories. All right. So there's two stories, and I don't know which is exactly true. 'Cause
Right.
They both happened, but I don't know. So I'm with my friend Horse, and we were in a hot tub, and he was like,
Wait, you said horse?
my friend the Horse. Yeah, my friend Horse was in a hot tub, and he gave me a margarita, and I just started screaming at little children. And I was going, woo, woo, woo. Man, it's crazy. This is awesome. I was like, man, I'm having a great time. And he's like, yeah, you're drunk. That's what that is. And I was like, whoa, awesome. And then can I tell you the Michael Bolton story?
Fuck yeah.
Who is that again?
Michael Bolton? He sang.
Singer?
You're so 25, bro. You're so 25. Yeah, Michael Bolton sang.
Sorry.
I wish I thought I love you, but I was wrong. Cause not something love could ever be so strong. Like I thought I love you, but I lied. Cause love, I don't know, some bullshit. Michael Bolton's a singer. He sang. You would know him from the Lonely Island song.
Hilarious. I do know him from the Lonely Island video. Yeah.
Captain
That's
Jack
so funny.
Sparrow.
You know, that happens a lot. That happens a lot now where that's so funny. That is where I know him from. That happens a lot now where it's like, I don't know a cultural reference. And I'm like, oh, but I remember in middle school when they talked about that on Family Guy.
Yes.
Like I learned about it like secondhand through parody. So,
Yes.
okay, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
So I had never drank before, and so it's just actually crazy. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'll just tell the story. I was dating this girl, and I wasn't drinking, and she was like, she was a buyer for Toys R Us, so she would pick the toys that Toys R Us would sell, and she was quitting the job.
Movers and shakers.
Yeah, she was pretty cool, and I collect action figures, so I was pretty excited. Oh, we get invited to this party. It's not a party; it's a Toys R Us event. It's at the Marriott in Times Square. The New York Giants were there. It was hosted by Rosie O'Donnell. It was
So
it was a sponsored Toys R Us event to raise money for
that's crazy.
for children,
Right.
and like the high ups at Toys R Us got to go, and she brought me, and I had to wear tux, and we took a limo to get there, and she goes,
Friday Night Greg. man.
Friday Night Energy, whip it up, whip it up. Friday Night Energy,
Top of the bottom.
Friday Night Energy on Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So she goes, look, you never drank. She was like, why don't you have a drink at this party? She goes, no one will ever know. So if you don't like it, you can never do it again. But if you do like it, you can decide. But you can't say you hate something if you've never done it. So she's like, you should just try and see if you like it. If you like it, you'll have a good time. If you don't, whatever. But you're in a completely safe scenario. And I was like, okay, I'll try a drink, right? So I had one Malibu Bay Breeze. And the next thing I remember was waking up the next morning in her bed. And this is before digital cameras. So she...
Sorry, that's just a wild sentence.
Yeah, it was before digital. She had photos developed in an hour. It was 1 hour photo.
Oh my God.
So she woke up before I woke up, went to CVS, had the photos developed, is standing in front of the bed, and she goes, what do you remember about last night? And I said, I remember something about Cabbage Patch Kids. She goes, yes, every table got one limited edition Cabbage Patch Kid. You have 6. And I'm like, wow. She goes, yep. She goes, you were going from table to table, winning these, winning. They weren't even, it wasn't even a competition. She was like, you were winning these. We were just going over there being like, hey, I bet you I'll do all this for that fucking thing. And they were like, yeah, man, this is a work event, right? Just take it and get away. And so I was like, man, I'll bet you I eat all the bread on this table. You give me that Cabbage Patch Kid. They're like, we're 40. We don't want the Cabbage Patch Kid.
You still ate the bread.
Clearly. So then she goes, all right. She goes, what do you remember about Michael Bolton? And I said, I don't know anything about Michael Bolton. I don't know. And I don't know anything about Michael Bolton. And she goes, you're a liar? She goes, you know every song he sings. And I went, and she starts showing me pictures. And I'm looking at these pictures, and I'm like, what happened? She goes, you drank more Malibu Bay Breeze than any man has ever drank before. She goes, your head was passed out on the table. And she goes, I was fine. She was like, man, he had a good time. I'll bring him home. Who cares? Until Rosie O'Donnell says, ladies and gentlemen, your musical guest, Michael Bolton. She was, at which point you sprang to your feet. You looked me right in the eye and said, I have to do this. She goes, you sprinted past the New York Giants. She goes, nobody gave a shit about Michael Bolton at the time. Like, he was kind of like a little bit like old. He hadn't made his comeback yet.
Right.
Everyone was too fucking whatever to care. He goes, but he starts singing and you jumped. It was like a little carpet. She goes, you jumped on that carpet with him. And she goes, you sang every word to When a Man Loves a Woman. And I was like, what? And she's like, I was like, why didn't you stop me? She goes, why would I? It was amazing. She goes, like, everyone loved it. Michael Bolton hated it. She goes, then you started singing and then people got into it. It was like amazing. She goes, you were singing cheek to cheek with him. She goes, at one point, you were wrapping your hands around him playing guitar on his guitar, and he was loving it. He didn't give a fuck. She goes,
Oh my gosh.
and she shows me the next picture, and it's Michael Bolton literally doing this. And I go, what happened here? She goes, oh, this is when you grabbed the microphone out of his hand, looked at the crowd, and then looked at him and then said, rock me hard and fast, Rod Stewart, and called Michael Bolton Rod Stewart to his face. I was like, what? I was like, I'm so sorry. Did I embarrass you? She was like, I didn't care. He didn't care. Nobody cares. You did 3 more songs together. Then she goes, and then we got in a chemo, we fucked all night, you woke up, and this is where we are. And that was like the first time I ever drank.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, there are some liberties I've taken with that story, but it's 99% true.
I feel like if you did do drugs, you would have met all of Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, on the Patreon, I will get into my Jim Lee story, if that's okay. I'll tell you my Jim Lee story.
Right.
And I will tell you my story about so I went to my friend Jamia's wedding, and my friend Jamia married the guy from My Chemical Romance. So there was a bunch of celebrities there. And
Greg?
I will tell you all
Greg?
about that after the break.
Greg, look
Yeah.
at my hair.
It's red.
I
My
love
Chemical-
My Chemical Romance.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll learn about this on the Patreon.
Join it.
Guys, go to patreon.com/The Greg Stone Zone. Maddie, I feel like I talked over you the whole time, but I love you, and you're
Oh my
so
God.
great.
I love you. Thank you
I
for
had
having me.
fun.
This was the hardest I've laughed at. This was great. This is fantastic.
It's bad because she just hangs around, and it makes me more me. So I just like to have her around so that I'm funnier. But then I don't let her talk, so it's horrible.
I'm a prop.
You've got great stories.
Thanks, Pat.
No, you're an incredible
you
storyteller.
Yeah, remember when he told us about how he's Patch Adams?
Oh my God. Yeah, that was maybe the first time we really talked.
Yeah.
Talking
was
about the
there.
hospital. We
Yeah, I
were
was
at
there.
the cellar, yeah.
Yeah, and then you told us about your red glasses.
Oh my God,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I could
that's-
listen to you tell stories for hours. This is
Yeah.
a blast.
That's why I do a podcast. That's why they pay me the medium bucks.
They always cross a couple zeros off the check. They're like, oh, sorry.
But Maddie, I do want to say, because people don't know you yet, man, you're such a funny comic, and I'm so proud to be your father. So hilarious. And Pat also, and Pat the Butcher. Pat. There's also another comic. I think you're just a fucking hilarious comedian, and everybody should watch what you do.
Thank you.
I
I thought you were going to leave it at, this is just another comedian.
Pat-
So,
Pat has glasses. Pat is one of the best visioned people with glasses. They really correct. No, you're such a funny guy. You know I do
Thank
that
you.
all the time. Where can people follow you?
I'm on Instagram at Maddie T. Wiener.
Nice. And what about you,
I'm on Instagram as
Maddie? T.
Maddie the Wiener. No, Pat Burtscher, spelled Burtscher. Burt S. Share.
Nice. Yeah, you're so funny. And also, Max came with me. We're going to talk about Max. We're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the big leagues?
Yeah, we can talk about the big leagues.
I brought Max on the road. We
big
brought his
league.
lady with him, and not my wife. We brought his actual girlfriend. So I was actually allowed to. I was allowed to have sex with my wife this weekend. Was preoccupied with his girlfriend. They came. We went to a club. We went to some bullshit. We did that bullshit. Anyway, that was it. And we'll join us now on the Patreon if that's okay. But we could keep it live, right? The YouTube.
Yeah, we'll
people?
keep the Patreon live. We'll keep it all.
All right.
All right. So I just clap and then we just keep going.
Yeah, you don't even need to clap.
All right.